Hi, welcome back to the End of Financial Year Ready Challenge. I'm Kim, the Director of Scribe Shift Notes, and I'm joined once again by Sam Jones. He's a chartered accountant specialising in NDIS and independent support work. Sam, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kim.
No worries, it's always a pleasure. This is the third and final video in the series, and it's going to be a bit of a wrap up. So we wanted to finish with topics that keep coming up and questions that we've had and questions that we see in the group, people asking underneath the videos. So also the people who sign up for our resources. So we're going to talk about kilometres again.
Yes, exciting stuff. People just can't get enough of this one.
I know, but it's confusing. I get it. I understand why. So we're going to do a full review on the kilometres and answer questions that you sent in, and then covering important stuff like how to start the new financial year the right way. So from the 1st of July, you have a chance to start the year the way that you want to see it out. Like, we all get excited about saving receipts and having a spreadsheet and doing all that stuff on the 1st of July. I know I do. I can't wait. It's like Christmas night, falling asleep on the 30th. I can't wait to start again anew, fresh.
Yeah, it's like it's a new financial year resolution or something along those lines. Yeah.
I don't get really drunk on the 30th. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but maybe some people do.
That's like good. No, start the financial year with a clear mind, no hangover coming into July 1st.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way to go, Kim.
Now, before we get into it, I want to remind everybody that we've put together a free resource, the new financial year checklist. It's a practical guide with everything you need to set up now so that when you arrive at the next end of financial year, you won't have stress. So the link is in the description. Get that. It's really good. I didn't make it myself. Anna, our wonderful assistant, made it, but it's genuinely very good. So, righto, let's go, Sam. Let's start with the basics, because I know some people are watching this for the first time and you're a first-time independent support worker. This will be your first tax year making the claims and all of that. So what can an independent support worker claim when it comes to kilometres?
Okay, great question. So the reason kilometres are so confusing, I think, is because there's so many different reasons or rules around claiming. There's different rules for companies, for sole traders, for employees. So before we get into it, I just want to clarify that this is specifically for a sole trader, independent NDIS support worker. So the question was, what can we claim on our tax return in terms of motor vehicle and travel expenses?
Kilometres. So one of the most common questions we got is, if you were paid for your kilometres through an NDIS invoice, can you still claim those same kilometres on your tax return?
Yep. Generally speaking, yes. If it's travel with a participant, then you can use that invoice to substantiate your claim for a deduction. Travel to and from the participant does not count as work-related travel. In some instances, you might agree with the participants you're working with that the travel to and from the participant you will invoice for. However, in the eyes of the ATO, in terms of a tax deduction, that doesn't count as travel and kilometres. So just to clarify, I know I mentioned in a previous video that sometimes that scenario is tax deductible. That scenario is only applicable if you don't have a regular place of business, or the regular place of business is considered to be your home address. So an example where you would be able to claim that is if you are constantly swapping between participants. So you don't know a month from now which participant you'll be going to work with. A scenario where you cannot claim travel to and from work is if you have, let's say, 3 participants you regularly work with, those 3 locations would be considered 3 places of business. So you can't travel from home to there. Does that make sense?
I guess so. I'm going to ask questions that I think people will be thinking like, but what about this? What about that? So you have, I'll go through both scenarios that you just said. So you have a bunch of different participants, you're working with different people all the time, you don't have a regular set client list, you're just finding people off Facebook and Mabel.
Or different locations, or sometimes you go to one house, sometimes you go to the park or the basketball court. Right,
okay. So you start from your house, that's your regular place of work because you don't have an office outside of that, that's okay. And you travel to this one, that one, different one next week, different place, same client, different place. So that is claimable? Yes.
Correct, yes. The kilometres would be considered business.
So even though you've invoiced for those kilometres, you might have charged the participant $1 a kilometre to get to them at all those different locations, you can still claim it on your tax?
Yep, absolutely. Because you've incurred that expense with your car. Yep.
Okay. And then the second scenario is I work with John, Paul and Ringo, and I go to their same house every week. Never change the location from my house, which is my place of business, to their house. Can't claim it?
Correct, you can't claim it. You can claim from John to Ringo. Let's say you finish your shift with John at 3 and you've got a shift with Ringo at 3:30. You can claim travel from John to Ringo, but you can't travel from home to the participant or from the participant to home. Right,
okay. Do you know what I love about government agencies and money? It's how simple they make everything. They just make it so simple and easy to understand and apply.
It's crazy. Like people,
that's a lot, isn't it?
You could map it out on a chart. Like it's like not infinite.
Yeah, well, it seems
thousands of combinations and possibilities. So the rules are different. If you're a sole trader earning this amount of money, you got in this industry. Like it's a real mind trap.
Well, yeah, I think I'll be serious for a moment. I think this is why accountants earn their money. This is why you need to go to an accountant so that you can get all this done properly and you're not having a guess. And later down the road, within the next 7 years, if you get audited, if you've been to an accountant, then you have the correct approach, you have the proof, and putting it through someone like you don't have to worry about all of this confusing stuff.
Yeah, it's important to have the advice tailored to your situation, because 2 people could be, they could be having a debate about the travel rules and they could be thinking about 2 different things. One person's talking about a company, one person's talking about a sole trader, and so they're both correct, but they don't understand that it's different rules for
and then like 600 comments entities. Later somebody's threatened somebody else with a butter knife and it gets really intense in the comments because both are correct but both people think they're right, and they'll die on that hill. That's why I can't talk about travel in the groups anymore because of that exact reason. And I'm not one to die on a hill. I'm like, look, I can only say what I think. I can only say what I think I know. And I checked it with Sam, so
so you could.
Usually I'm good. But that's it's always the biggest thing is travel. People arguing about travel, asking about travel, and I think it pays to just put out a little bit of money, invest in your business, and get the right answer for you. That's just my take.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a practical question that came up, what counts as a valid kilometre log in the eyes of the ATO, and will a mobile app work?
Yeah, so kind of as we discussed in the previous videos, if you're using the logbook method, or the actual cost method, logbook method and actual cost method, they're the same thing.
See previous video.
Yep, see previous video. You will need a logbook, like an actual physical or digital logbook written down that tracks your odometer, where you came from, where you went to, etc. So that is what counts as valid in the eyes of the ATO. Does a mobile app work? Yes, mobile app can work as long as it tracks it accurately and you can see. If you're using the cents per kilometer method, you just need to have a reasonable basis for your claim.
Which is that? Sorry.
Yeah. Like for me, I'm an accountant. I work from home. So if I claim 5,000 kilometers of travel, that's obviously going to raise some eyebrows at the tax office. If you're a support worker and you can clearly see that you've, on your invoices even, that you've traveled so far, then the ATO will accept that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so don't try and do a dodgy. It's not worth it. Just put in a little bit of effort and record the real stuff, and then you can take that and run with it, whatever your accountant says.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. The next topic that comes up quite a bit, and I saw a question about this just a few days ago, GST for sole traders. The question of GST: does an independent support worker need to register for GST, and can you discuss the reasons why and why not?
Yep. An independent support worker needs to register for GST when they reasonably expect to be making $75,000 revenue. So if you onboard a participant and based on your service agreement, you can see that you will be earning more than 75,000, then yes, you should register for GST. If you aren't reaching that threshold, you can still elect to register for GST anyway.
And what are the benefits of doing that?
So if you register for GST in any scenario, as an independent support worker, you can claim a refund on any GST credits that you spend. So for example, if you spend $99 on a Xero subscription or a software subscription like Spark, Scribe, or or QuickBooks, I don't know. The portion of that expense that is related to GST, you can claim a refund on that when you lodge your quarterly business activity statement.
Okay.
So, so a reason why you might want to register for GST early is if you have a lot of upfront expenses that have a lot of GST credits, then you can just claim that refund straight away, which is pretty cool.
So, okay. So scenario, I earn $50,000 as a sole trader. I was thinking, no, I'm not going to register for GST. But if I do, anything I buy that's business related, so if I bought a $10 pack of pens from Officeworks that I need for work, I can claim the GST from that receipt. That comes back to me. Yeah, okay. So I think a lot of people get all wound up in thinking that it's some huge thing that they're registering for GST and it's going to put more complications into the way they do their tax. But most people don't understand that even if they don't get to 75 grand, they can still claim that GST back.
Yeah, that's correct. So when you register for GST, you will then be required to lodge business activity statements, which can sound a little bit scary, but once you've done a couple, it's fine. It's a little bit of extra compliance you have to do each quarter. Basically, what a business activity statement is it's reporting your income and GST to the government and paying it. There's other things. It's more deep. There's other elements to it than that, but for an independent support worker, that's basically what you need to worry about. So on the business activity statement, you report your sales, so how much money you made that quarter. You report how much GST was on those sales, which will be 0 for support workers with service agreements. And you report how much GST was on your purchases or your expenses. So you get those purchases as a refund each quarter.
Yeah, which is great. So would your services come into that, for example, if they were using you as an accountant or someone else as an accountant, would that be the GST on that service be refundable as well?
Yes. Yep. If you have accounting fees, you can claim the GST on that.
Awesome.
Any professional fees, as long as they're registered for GST, you'll see on the invoice if there's GST on it.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so there's no reason to not register for GST. Is there any reason that you would recommend somebody doesn't register for GST if they're an independent?
The only reason I would say don't worry is if you don't want to lodge a business activity statement each quarter, because it's just that little bit of extra work. Some people just don't want to deal with the hassle. Personally, I would say just lodge it, register straight away, because that way when you do grow your business or your client base or hit that $75,000, then you've got a bit of experience with lodging business activity statements. Yeah,
I mean, it's super easy. Just from my perspective, it's super easy with Xero, especially if you don't have the complications of like running a big business. If you're literally just having your GST-free income via NDIS participants and then your expenses that won't be huge, it's a couple of clicks really once you get it hooked up to the ATO.
Yeah, it sounds kind of big and scary when we're talking about it here theoretically. When we're talking about GST and credits and all that. But once you actually do it, that's the best way to learn, and then it won't be too scary. It will just be something you do each quarter. And
then you get that GST back in your pocket, which I love.
Ka-ching.
Exactly. Okay, anything else GST? When should people think about reaching out to their accountant? If somebody's listening to this thinking like, oh, maybe I should, I want to do it on my own. Like, can they register at any time? What's a good time to reach out to your accountant about this?
Best time is when it gets too complicated for you to handle, really. If you've got, like some things, GST on motor vehicles, when you got the logbook percentage and there's calculations involved. If you're very simple sole trader setup, like generally you can do it yourself. It's not something you'll need to speak to an accountant about. However, if you just want that reassurance and you just like get them to do it anyway, that's fine. It's up to you. So I would say to summarize that bit of ramble, if it's too much hassle and you don't want to deal with it, go to an accountant, or if it's getting too complicated, go to an accountant. Yeah. I have to be honest, now that I'm a little bit older, anything that I can outsource, I outsource, because like it's great to learn everything, and I've done that over the years, and I've learned how to run my accounts and all of that. But honestly, anything I can outsource to somebody else and 100% know that it's done correctly is worth it every single time for me. And I know support workers in particular are very busy people. They give a lot to the work and they're working all hours. And I think having a good accountant at least oversee everything and make sure you're on the right track is very worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Unless you just love doing your business activity statements, then if that energizes you, that's fine.
I mean, obviously, you guys love that kind of thing. Each to their own. There's a lid for every pot, isn't there?
That's cool.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about starting the financial year off right. So this is the part that I personally think is the most important of today's video. We're in June, the financial year ends on the 30th, and then on the 1st of July, everything starts fresh. So that's our chance to be that person that we want to be in terms of our accounts. So Sam, for an independent support worker, what should they be doing to start out the new financial year the right way? Like if they're like, right, I'm not going to do shoe boxes anymore, I'm not going to change my identity to hide from the ATO, like what do they need to do to start off and be like bang on?
Yeah, good question. And it's a very broad question as well, because it depends on what your ambition is. You know, do you want to grow your participant base? Are you happy to stay with where you're at? If you want to grow, then you've got to look at things like, do I upgrade my accounting subscription? Do I register as a company? But the most important thing to think about at the start of each financial year is to just kind of anticipate how much tax you're going to be paying. So just get into the right habit of putting money away in like savings for tax, because the new financial year, that's when the ATO, they're going to know what pay-as-you-go installments you'll need to pay.
So don't let tax happen to you. You should
don't let tax happen. You can do things to minimize your tax, obviously, in using the law in its full extent to your advantage. Right?
So if you know you're going to earn, like this year I earn like $95,000, so I'm going to go on the assumption that nothing's changed too much. I'm probably going to earn around 100 grand next financial year. So therefore I need to plan monthly to put away X amount of dollars. Is that the kind of thing we're aiming for?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And there'll be different concessions that will be available in one financial year that might not be available in another. So if you have a big expense coming up, just these small things like, am I going to buy this on the 23rd of June, or am I going to wait until the 2nd of July? Like, which financial year is it more beneficial from a tax perspective to make this purchase?
Yeah, right. That makes sense. That kind of reminds me of a question that I wanted to ask you last time about superannuation. So is this a good time to put extra super in if you haven't quite met your super limits for the last few years, for example? Like, is that something that can be dealt with at the end of financial year?
Yeah, it can be. And it's up to you, depending on what your goals are as well. Putting away money for super. Some people, like I'm a big fan of saving money and having, preparing for a rainy day, right?
That's what you want in an accountant, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But you also got to consider that superannuation, you can't touch that until you've retired. And you have to look at it in the big picture. Like, yes, you get the tax deduction now, but it's also money that's not available to help you, run your business. So there's no hard or fast rule. It really depends on your personal situation and your financial goals.
Okay, great. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about in relation to end of financial year planning? Any extras, or have we nailed it?
Oh, we nailed it. Absolutely. I think just things like looking at anticipating changes that might come up. Like think about the NDIS price guide, what
Yes.
changes are going to be happening there. And these aren't really tax things, just things that you should be thinking about as an independent coming into the new year, because financial years when all the big changes happen, really, not all of them.
Yeah, that's it. But a lot, yeah. The price guide will change again. Who knows? I haven't listened for the whispers this year. Usually I've got a bit of an idea of what's going to happen, but I have no idea where that's going to head this year. But don't forget about it, because you may need to amend your service agreements. You will need to tell participants if you're planning on increasing your hourly rate, and you'll need to understand whatever new fun thing comes out in the guide, however many new fun things are going to come out in the guide. We might circle back to that at some point in July. I reckon that could be another video that we do.
Talking
all
do a
things
bit of a
guide.
debrief and
God, what a tumultuous time it is. 2026 with all things NDIS. Yeah, it's a lot, but
Yep. I feel like we say that every year though. Like it's all just when you think it can't get more tumultuous, then lo and behold, more turmoil. But if you're prepared, then you're not gonna.
You take the changes in your stride, don't you? It doesn't.
Like the more you prepare, the less you have to fear. So.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, prepare and you remember, you're an independent support worker, so you don't have that protection of being an employee. So you really need to be proactive in staying on top of these changes in the NDIS, because you're the one responsible.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so and it's a lot to take in, especially with the number of changes that have been talked about that are coming in, and proposed changes for the next couple of years as well. It's really important to find a good source of truth for that and keep yourself up to date, because it affects directly your business and how you run it. So we do a little bit of that, but I find DSC to be quite good. That organisation, I don't know if you follow those guys. They always do a good roundup of changes, and so I follow those guys quite closely if you're needing somewhere to go. So thanks. Yes, you should. It's very informative. Thanks for watching, everyone. This was the third and final video of the End of Financial Year Ready challenge. If you haven't watched the first two yet, the links are in the description. And today's free resource is the new financial year checklist, which is everything you need to do everything correctly to start the new financial year the right way. So the link is in the description as well, totally free. Subscribe, grab it, unsubscribe afterwards. I don't mind, I won't take it personally. And if you're looking for a tool that makes all of this simpler, Scribe Shift Notes has a 14-day free trial. You don't need to give your card. It has everything you need: kilometre log, invoices, shift notes, Xero integration if you want it, but you don't have to have that. A couple of people are like, I don't want Xero. Like, that's totally fine. Like, don't have it. You don't need it. So it's all in one place. We've also just launched Safeguards, which is the compliance layer inside of Scribe. So it's not a separate product. It runs underneath everything that a support worker already does. So every shift note, every client record, every incident, it watches and prompts and records and protects you in real time. So off the back of that, you can then produce a self-audit export, and it shows you everything. So your code of conduct records, all your compliance documentation with expiry dates, service agreements, incident logs, risk profiles, shift note summary, invoice records. The worker chooses the date range. You can choose all of your clients or just one client at a time, for example, if you needed to send it to a support coordinator, for example. That's designed to be handed directly to an auditor. So it's big. So that's on offer right now. It's called Safeguards. If you get the Vault subscription before the 1st of July, Safeguards is included. After the 1st of July, Safeguards is our top tier, and you can check it out on sparkscribe.ai. Have a look at all the things. So that's all I've got to say about that. If you haven't done your tax yet, Sam's details are in the description. He's a really fun guy. So you talk about tax and you might talk about some other stuff. I don't know. Malaysian food, Pokemon, I'm not sure. He has a lot of wide and varied interests, but I would recommend getting in touch with Sam. You can go on his website and book an appointment if he can fit you in, and yeah, you won't be sorry. Thank you, Sam. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Kim. It's been fun.
No worries. It's always fun, isn't it? Should we? I'm going to press stop.
All right. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's press it.
Okay. Bye, Sam.
All right. See you, Kim. Bye-bye. No idea what that.
So, Sam, I have a tax question. So, in preparation for this meeting, I actually bought that really expensive Dubai chocolate with pistachios in it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I claim that on tax?
Absolutely. Yes. Dubai chocolate. Pistachios, did you say?
Yeah.
Yes, pistachios. No, you can't claim that on tax, Kim.
Oh, man. It was $20. This block of chocolate was $20. No. I was pressured by the girls in the office and the checkout chick because it's aggressively right there. So I bought it thinking, I'm having a meeting with Sam in a work capacity, surely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you would think so. With the pressure from the checkout chick and the employees that the ATO would budge, but unfortunately, no. Pistachio, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm still going to eat it.
Yeah, definitely eat it. The ATO can't stop you from doing that. Okay. But they can stop you from claiming a tax deduction from it.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, Kim.
I'll live with it.